You are now listening to a 302BIRDS podcast experience, proudly powered by Tick Pick, Cutbet, El Diablo Burritos, Nick's Pizza, and Klondike Kate's on the heart of Main Street.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 302BIRDS. Thank you for joining us on Valentine's Day night. If you're watching us, Cupid's arrow, of course, striking the 49ers in the ass. You love to see it. Talk shit, get hit. That's how it goes in the NFL. Love to see the downfall of them. But we got a jam-packed show for you guys. With that being one of the main themes, of course, yes, you 49ers fans have had it coming 12 months for you guys. Letting us hear it, you're going to get the same thing. But moreover, like I said, we got a jam-packed show. We have a great guest, my boy Josh, coming up. And yeah, not much more than that. So without further ado, I will hit that El Diablo intro.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo Burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking how your day is, but their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302BIRDS sent you. God bless, go Bird.
Thank you to El Diablo Burritos for that sponsorship. Like Dalton said, tonight we have Josh. Josh is from Arizona. He's an Eagles fan, but he's a Diamondbacks fan for baseball. So throw all the hate you want his way. But without further ado, Josh, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Let me just start off by saying go Birds, Dallas sucks, and fuck the 49ers. Let's go.
Love to hear that. You know, it's you're covering your ass a little bit about being a Diamondbacks fan, so it's all good. It's all good. So without further ado, what questions do you have for us tonight?
So I want to talk about Nick Sirianni, man, because coming into the season, obviously I think we were all pretty confident about him. Felt pretty good. And then the collapse happened. It felt like the locker room was lost. And I was part of the camp that wanted him gone. I thought it was time to start fresh. I'm okay with him coming back. If Lurie and, Howie trust him, sure, let's give it another run. But how long do you guys think his leash is going to be next year? I mean, is it Super Bowl or bust? Or if we make it to the conference championship and look competitive, does he get to stick around for another year? How long do you think Sirianni's leash is going to be next year?
Yeah, so I was part of the camp that wanted to keep Sirianni just because, like you said, he's been the head coach for 3 years now, and he's taken us through the playoffs all 3 years and took us to the Super Bowl 1 year. I just think why he looked so bad last year was just the coordinators. And we talked about this in previous episodes. We had Brian Johnson, who wasn't the greatest offense coordinator. And then we had Sean Desai and then Matt Patricia. So I really think that there was a collapse. It seemed like the players didn't want to play at all. But I think with bringing in these new coordinators, we have Vic Fangio, and then
Kellen Moore.
Yeah, Kellen Moore. I think we'll see a difference. And to your point, the leash, I think, if he brings us to the conference championship and we're competitive, I think he has another year. But this is like his make or break year. This is his last year here in Philly. That's my opinion.
I don't even think you should even say conference championship. If we're one and done in the playoffs, I see him getting the kick. But if they're competitive in the playoffs and say it's divisional round, we're going against the 49ers or even the Cowboys or something, and we put up a good fight and we lose, I mean, I don't see why he should get the can for that,
Yeah.
As long as they're competitive in the playoffs. If it's a game that like the Buccaneers, then he's gone.
Yeah. I think the leash is definitely going to be pretty short for him. I do have more faith in him now that since we've hired the new coordinators, people have really come out speaking in favor of Sirianni, really since they fired our coordinators from last season. So that makes me feel like it wasn't him that lost the locker room. He just got the blame for losing the locker room. So I think as long as we are able to put up a good fight, I frankly would say if we don't get the number 1 seed, I think it's questionable depending on how the rest of the NFC East pans out. Well, the rest of the NFC, but truly the NFC East. I am hoping that he can stay longer term because I personally like his coaching philosophy. I think he has made a positive impact on that locker room. but we will see.
The one thing that I want to say too, and Josh, I think that this is a great question. Ryan Swoop, what's going on, man? Welcome. Thanks for joining us every week, man. One of my favorite loyal listeners out there. But Josh, a great question, because I think Sirianni, he pisses me off as an Eagles fan sometimes. I think he's a great guy. He's a great leader, but he's very different from that Doug Peterson ice cream. And you already know where I'm going with this. It upset me last year in the Super Bowl when Jalen Hurts had to tell his coach literally to calm down. That's a little bit of a stretch for me. That was when I was like, okay. There were a couple times last year, I can fucking do that, or whatever he said. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like, we know you can. Like, it's like, chill. But whatever, it's Philly. We love it. It's entertaining. The Jalen Hurts having to calm down as coach in the Super Bowl was kind of like the last straw, I guess you could say, for me. I'm still in favor of Sirianni being here next year, because guess what? I am a football reporter. I am not a football expert. I report on football with my opinion. So in my opinion, I don't like that. But I think, you know what? The guy led us to a Super Bowl in his second year. So I get it. Give him another shot. But the fact that your player has to calm down your coach, I think that this is a fabulous question, and something that should be up for debate more often.
Yeah.
And
I think that,
go ahead, man. What were you saying?
I was just saying, I would agree with, if he is competitive, like if we get to the divisional round and we don't get blown out, I think he gets another year. But yeah, even a competitive first round exit, if it's a 1-score game in the first round and we lose to a wild card team, I'd say then I think that's probably the time to move on, in my opinion.
Yeah, if we get bounced in the wild card again, I'm with that. What were you saying, Jack?
Yeah, and we'll really see, was it the coordinators that were the coordinators last year that caused us this downfall? We'll see. I mean, like I said, with these new coordinators, I think we'll see a change. But if we don't, then that tells you that Nick Sirianni, has to go.
He's got to go. Oh, look out. Next season, breaking point. We'll see. But Josh, hey, man, I want to thank you for joining us on the show. This definitely won't be the last time we'll get you on, and we can get you back again. We appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me. All right, go Birds.
Thank you, Josh.
Go Birds, baby. I love that. That might have been one of the best intros into the show we've had ever. Legit. That was pretty good. I can't lie. You guys like that one too?
Yeah. Josh,
I thought it was pretty good. Anytime that you start off with "fuck the 49ers," you're gonna be well liked. Time for Phillies talk with Bob Tommy.
Fingers, Dutch. Well, Dutch, along with being Valentine's Day, Ash Wednesday, it's another famous holiday that I like to throw about, and it's Phillies pitchers and catchers reported today. Hey, the love was in the air in Clearwater.
Oh, look at that! Beautifully done. I'm proud of you,
thank
man.
you, Dutch. We saw Wheeler on the bump.
Here.
What?
I said I'm in love over here. Go ahead, though. Sorry, I'm just sprung.
Wow, look at you using a good AP test or SAT test word. Look at you, Dutchy. But we saw Wheeler hit the bump today. We saw Garrett Stubbs and JT catching as expected. It more so it seemed like they were just kind of like shaking off the dust. Saw some Taiwan Walker, or we had some questionable quotes from Topper tonight that would make you go pause. Maybe he was thinking about later on into the night on Valentine's Day, but all in all, looked like a good first day for pitchers and catchers report. Wheeler got some questions from reporters after his bullpen session of like what he thinks about him entering his final season of his contract this year and stuff like that, and he kind of just shrugged off and said, "It's up to the agents now." I know, Dutch. You want to get the newest pitcher though that we officially signed today though.
We don't have to move that fast to it. Me and Matt are just busting each other's balls down here with the new lower third. If you guys think this looks sick on the show, by the way, just let us know. I mean, we're just kids with toys out here, just like everybody else. You know, we're all adults. Anyway, though, I mean, pitchers and catchers, Tom, I want to speak on it real quick. I know Matt might want it too, but like, we might be going to Florida, baby. That would be a real scene. If we're going to Florida, which I think we might be, which there's like an 85% chance. I think it's moving up to a 90 now. That we'll be going.
I will be in Florida regardless. So
Ashley needs the vacation time. So
I need the vacation.
Are you excited for pitchers and catchers, Ashley?
Yes, I was so excited. I think I had like kind of had the date like circled on my calendar, but not really realized it with how crazy life was. So last Wednesday, I think it was last Wednesday was truck day. That definitely got me a lot more excited. And it's so good to have baseball back. With the Eagles ending so early in January, it just kind of was like this long period without like a ton of fun Eagle sports. So I'm super excited that baseball will be back soon.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a date for Valentine's Day, so seeing the Phillies pitchers and catchers report, it was like happy Valentine's Day to me, man. It was great, you know, hearing the cleats walking on the rocks and hearing the ball pop in the mitt is the best Valentine's Day ever. I'm pumped. I can't wait to see what the spring training is going to be all about, and today was the first step.
Sounds like I'm not the only one who's sprung.
Oh my god!
I had to. Sorry, that's 2 glasses of wine deep. Anyway.
Spencer, Mr. Lightweight.
Lightweight.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I should have said that with Jack and Tom in here. But anyway, Tommy boy, take it away. I know you're excited about this pitcher.
Not really. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
Fuck this guy.
This was more of a shard throwing it into the group chat type of thing, but he did sign with us. He's supposed to have a lot of upside, but I'll be honest, this guy, just doing some basic research on him, hasn't exactly panned out that great. He's one of those guys that had a lot of high expectations coming in with the Tigers back in 2018, and he just never really panned out. Like, his ERA's consistently been around 3.5 to 4. Last season it was over 7, and he didn't even play that much because of injury. And the season before that, he missed the whole season because of injury. So to me, it's just like, okay, we'll see what he's got, but if he doesn't pan out, he doesn't pan out. And I'm leaning on the side of he's probably not going to pan out, and we're going to see more of like Mick Abel at some point this season. I kind of want to focus on him rather than Spencer Turnbull, who I remember when he came up, because I remember seeing his name on MLB Network all the time and stuff like that. He was supposed to be a young stud, and he's just really been a bust.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at his ERA. What is it, 7.63 or something like that? Like,
yeah, that's what it was last year.
We don't need that anymore. We don't need. I would much rather. I mean, I think this spring Abel's gonna really pop off, and I think we're gonna like what we see from him. I think this may be an extra arm for spring training. In all honesty,
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a very dear friend who is a huge Tigers fan, and he texted me as soon as the news broke, and he said, "Thank you for taking him." So I feel like that gives us all the information we need with this guy. Hopefully, he's better than
I 100% agree with you there.
That's all we got as far as Phillies, though. Moving along now to the Sixers. Some big news. I'm coming home. That was literally the song that he played on his Instagram, which I thought was pretty cool. But Kyle Lowry, I did not realize that Kyle Lowry is now in year 18 of his career. He's old as fuck, but he can still play. I'm all for it. Big booty Lowry, welcome to Philadelphia. 6-time All-Pro. When he was on the Raptors, I really liked watching him. Villanova Wildcat. It's meant to be. It's meant to be. Welcome back. I think that this is going to be a good addition, personally. So I'm all for it.
Big mistake. We've been trying. We've been trying to get this dude for the past 5 years, and all of a sudden we get him when he's on his last leg, on his downfall of his career. He's not the same player he was 5 years ago. Like, this
is a big mistake. And just like this free agency, the trade deadline that happened last week, huge mistake. The Sixers did shit, okay? And I mean, Buddy Hield's popping off right now, but I just think it's a big mistake with Kyle Lowry. He's old. He's not where he was 5 years ago. So I think it's a big mistake. That's all I gotta
He's
say.
37.
Yeah, he's
all we
LeBron
know.
James is what, 38, and LeBron James is different. Kyle Lowry's Kyle Lowry. So come on now.
I mean, we got him for about as cheap as we possibly could. Like, it's not like we paid an arm and a leg for him. I think we signed him for 1.3 million or something like that. If anything, he's going to be a good veteran presence for this team trying to make a push for the playoffs. I don't think we're expecting him to come in and take over games. I mean, I think that's kind of an unrealistic expectation, but being a good mentor to Maxey over the next season, the rest of the season without Embiid in the game, I think this is actually going to be a big addition for us, especially with the struggles that we've been having over the past, 2 or 3 weeks.
Where can I buy his jersey? That's all I'm saying.
There's a lot of Chinese websites that have them.
Yeah, it'll be like $10. Shout out to Matt, talking your boy up. Because, like, seriously though, anybody that's coming back to Philly to play in Philly, I mean, I feel like we have a sweet spot for. There's just that welcome home. You know what I mean? Like, go get it. Go figure it out. And I hope that he's the last piece that the Sixers need. I don't know if he is. Tom's shaking his head because he knows the inevitable pain that we all feel as Philly fans, and I get it. I don't want to put my hard, cold, earned emotion into either. But, when I have to, I will. Speaking of hard, cold emotion, I don't know if I'm ever going to go to a game at the complex again. You guys hear this news of the additions coming to the Philly sports complex? What do you guys think of that?
I think it is a cry for help to get the Sixers to stay in the Wells Fargo Center. I think they're trying to boost up revenue and get a reason for the Sixers to stay in Wells Fargo. I think that's the only reason that they're planning on moving downtown. And this is, what other reason would there be to be putting in this complex other than keeping the sports complex the sports complex? I just don't see another reason for them to be doing this. Tailgates are going to suck. Parking is going to suck. I mean, they're taking away 22,000 parking spaces and only putting in a $10,000 parking garage. More people are going to have to train in. I don't see the reasoning behind this other than keeping the beloved 76ers in South Philadelphia.
It ain't gonna happen much longer.
I think that this proposal is just really a way for what's Comcast done the last few years? They've always been concerned about different
Just
revenue streams, their bottom line, not really necessary. If they win, that's nice, but let's focus on our bottom line and being profitable. Oh, so think about 500,000 square feet of office space. As someone who, this is where my accountant brain goes, because I mostly deal with commercial real estate clients a lot of times. They want the office space, and with return to office mandates going big and large, they want all that so they can build up more revenue streams for themselves. The parking garage they're gonna jack up prices probably like they do down in DC. DC, if you go to a Nationals game, it's a nightmare to park because it's all parking garages, and they charge you like $100 just to park your car. That's ridiculous. And then the apartments thing, I think, is coming out of what's going with all the drama that's going on with the Sixers or down by the Chinatown section of Philly. One thing everybody's concerned about is there's not enough housing in the city as a whole. So to try to build goodwill with citizens and to try to probably get more money out of the city of Philadelphia and the state of Pennsylvania to pay for any upgrades in the future, I think that's why they're putting in the apartments. Like, that's the only reasoning I could see them trying to put in all these apartments, is that they want to try to build some goodwill there.
Idiotic. idiotic in my opinion.
Could you imagine
if
living right there though?
Oh my God, living there, like they want to. Tom's right though. You're right, Matt. They want to put they are stuck on these apartments. Like they want to put this house. They want to solve this problem with the stadiums, and I just don't. It's like putting together like two negatives or two positives. You know what I mean? When you put together two negative, and like I don't think adding people living there or a hotel is going to fix your problem. I think that all of this is just going to cause more traffic. It's going to be more a pain in the ass to park, which it already is all of that. It's already shit show enough. You know what I mean? It's already stressful enough to go to an Eagles game, argue with that person getting through the gate. You know what I mean? Get to your spot, get set up. It's an experience. Don't get me wrong, but work comes along with it. Please do not ruin a good thing. It's a great thing. You have Giants fans. Like, shout out to my boy, JT Jizzle. You guys know who I'm talking about. The
Jizzle?
Giants fan. Jizzle. That's literally his name.
Oh,
That's
God.
literally his TikTok name. I'll send it to you after this. Good dude, though.
Yeah.
Big Giants fan. Commented on my post the other day, and he said, hey, I got to give respect to Philly sports fans because that's the only fan base where you have all of that, or one of the rare ones where you guys have that hub, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a sports hub where you can catch a Phillies game and an Eagles game in the same day. I don't think if you do all this, you're going to be able to afford all of that because it's going to be expensive, a pain in the ass, and a pain in the ass associates with expensive. That's my point.
I mean, you actually just brought up a really good point, Doc. I mean, adding all these things into the area, I mean, it's just going to increase ticket prices that much more. You know, all these shops, all these restaurants, all this new hotel, you know, it's just, I really do think it's a recipe for disaster. I think it's a terrible idea.
Also, just like because I've lived in a variety of cities, none of which are Philly, I love the fact that Philly, all of those Philly sports are right there in the center. You know, you could travel literally an hour in Chicago if you're going from like, not Wrigley. Well, yeah, potentially Wrigley to Soldier Field or whatever. Like it is a trek. And that's something that is very, very special about Philly. And I would be very sad if, for whatever the reason, that goes away.
Yeah, you can't ruin a good thing. Like Tom and I say in Delco, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Dutch. And that quote 100% applies here. The Eagles have a very good thing. The Sixers have a very good thing. The Phillies and Flyers also have a very good thing. Please, guys, don't ruin this. Speaking of Flyers, Tommy bringing up a very great point. The captains for the year were they named, Tom? Go ahead and take it away. You're probably the biggest Flyers expert on the show right now, rocking that handsome orange.
Well, it's red. It's a Phillies.
It looks a little bit orange on the camera. Am I not wrong, guys?
It looks orange. It looks orange.
Just go with it. Just go with it for this segment.
Sure.
That is Flyers orange compared right next to those jerseys. That is Flyers orange.
But yeah, this was last second, probably like it fresh off the pressers. Here's about an hour or two ago. Couturier was named the 20th captain in Flyers history. Then you had Scott Lawton and Travis Konecny named as your alternates. It's not really just for the year. It's like until like these guys leave, like that's kind of what happens. Like they're expected to be the captains of this team until they either like retire or get traded or released or whatever the case may be. This team's kind of been missing that role since Giroux left, and no one even got named as an alternate once he left. So, Cooch used to be an alternate, and then he got hurt and was missing. He was MIA for 2 years just because he got the injury bug, unfortunately. So he's been able to stay healthy this year, play solid. I think he was a phenomenal choice for a captain, and he's got the maturity. Even early on in his career, he used to get tough assignments. And in the playoffs, when we were playing the Penguins, he used to always have to go up against Evangeline Malkin, or he get the one-on-one assignment against Sidney Crosby. So he always had the tough defensive, like he was the offensive player who played solid defense as well. Always got those tough assignments, and I think he's an excellent selection. I absolutely love Coots. He's got the maturity and nothing but respect for him. Then you have Konechny, who's your alternate. He might not have the maturity yet. I love him. He's an absolute Philly guy and a goal scorer. So can't fault him there. And then Lawton, he stepped up. He's also a solid player and he at this point is one of the longest tenured guys. Which doesn't say much because it's a pretty young team, but he still is one of the longest tenured guys right now. So, I loved all these picks. A lot of people didn't like them because they're like, the team's vibing right now. Why would you do such a dramatic thing at this point in the season? But I think, you know what? These guys earned it. They deserve their props too. Why do they have to just wait because the vibes are good?
I have a question.
Yes.
What is like the importance of captains? I'm not a big hockey guy, so like, why are they naming captains in the middle of the season? Why is this not like at the beginning of the season sort of deal?
Usually it is at the beginning of the season, like if you're without a captain, but hockey's a big like respect league. Like they're probably the only ones. I think they are the only major American sport where at the end of like a playoff series, you do like a handshake line and you go shake your opponent's hand at the end of the series, win or lose. But that's just to show my point of hockey's a big respect league, and Tortorella was like, you have to earn my respect to be named a captain and all that. Because he got questioned on that early in the season of like, why haven't you? It's been 2 years. Why haven't you named anyone? He's like, well, I have some guys in mind, but I want them to earn it first. They have to earn my respect. So
I love that.
I like that. Yeah,
Torts is great, man. He's everything that team needed.
I think it's hilarious. He still won't answer that one guy's questions.
Yeah, and also I remember when Torts just got to Philly, and everyone was like, he's just here. He's a filler. He's just getting them through this rough patch, and now it's like people are like, if Torts leaves, like what the hell? Like he is Philadelphia. Like that's what we need. So I mean, what do you think on that? Do you think Torts is the guy?
I love Torts.
I'm all for it, dude. You hit the nail on the head. Being an amateur hockey fan, Torts has rejuvenated this team for amateur hockey fans in Philadelphia. There's a lot to be said for that. When the Flyers are relevant, people like me will spend my money on them. And I'll spend my money on them every year, but I'll spend my money once or twice on them a year. When they're relevant, I might go to, 5 or 6 hockey games throughout the year because it's just a fun thing to see. The team's relevant, we're good. And, Flyers games aren't that expensive as a whole either because there's so many of them. You know what I mean? But as a whole, the main thing is he's made this team relevant again and fun to watch again. And I know we've said that as a theme throughout this podcast, but it is so damn true. And salute to Torts for really what he's done and embodying what it means to be a Philadelphia coach. He really has.
Where'd Jack go? Is he?
He's still here.
There he is.
He was falling apart backstage, just like the 49ers fell apart in the Super Bowl. You love to see it. The downfall of the 49ers. Jack, were you rooting for the 49ers or for the Chiefs? I feel like the Chiefs, right?
I don't know.
Good answer.
Because, my bets wanted the 49ers, so I was heavy on the 49ers. Just because, after last season, we lost the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and I hate seeing Brittany Mahomes. I hate the fact that this Chiefs season was based on Taylor Swift. Like, that's why. And Travis Kelce, great dude, but like he's an asshole. Like when he's in the game, he's an asshole. I don't know. I mean, I think it's nice to see the 49ers fall apart and seeing them still bitch about, the NFC championship, NFC's championship game last year to us. But I mean, hey, it's awesome. Pat Mahomes got his victory. It was a weird Super Bowl. I definitely think it was a weird Super Bowl. The first quarter was god awful. But, Deebo Samuel's still bitching about, losing or whatever. So it's nice to see few players get upset. I mean, I love George Kittle, but I don't want to be like an asshole, but it's like kind of funny how Greenlaw like was hopping on the field and then he just like tore his ACL.
Yeah, that's so funny, Jack.
I'm not a big Greenlaw fan, and he's
And
a
Big
Nashville
Dom
fan.
in the building.
Exactly.
Just saying,
exactly.
man. Big Dom in
Also-
the building might be like superstitious.
Also, I don't mean to be this guy, Jack, but it was his Achilles, not his
I thought it
ACL.
was whatever.
Tomato,
same difference.
tomato. Jack's just happy that Big Dom's in the building doing what he's supposed to be doing. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding, guys. Take a joke. 49ers fans out there are going to execute me this week because of my jokes on the Instagram page. I got to watch myself. But bang, bang, Joker gang. It is so great to see you guys fall flat on your face. And then you have all of this that comes out later this week. This guy, John, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name because that sounds like something else. Truthfully. Fellatio, what? Anyway, John Fellatio basically is coming out now saying that he talked on Jalen's dead teammate. Then John tweets basically saying that Jalen Carter said that he was going to murder me and my family, my kids, would never see me again 3 times because I was laughing at him after getting a flag. I really don't know who I believe here. I'm just going to say this, going out on a limb. If you're getting fucked up the night before the Super Bowl, and then your dumbass is stupid enough not only to get fucked up the night before the Super Bowl, to fuck up in the game in the Super Bowl for it to be your fault partially. And then not only that, but then to tweet about it after that, like, hey, it's me. I did it. Like, at least fucking James Bradbury, like, had some grace and shut the fuck up last year, and it wasn't, all his fault. But at least, I just think if I'm a 49ers fan, you got players on the same team arguing, this team is fucked. And it's really funny to watch as an Eagles fan.
Did he get drunk before the Super Bowl or after the Super Bowl, and then those tweets were the next morning?
The night before the Super Bowl, I believe he got drunk. And then that was why he played bad. And he was apologizing in the tweets to his teammate, like, hey, I'm sorry I was hungover in the moment. Like, meaning, like, dude, you're a professional athlete. You have worked your whole life to get here. You were at the game of games. And the night before, hey! Like, what? Wild. I don't know.
I mean, the 49ers are a disaster, I feel like. I don't know. I was rooting for the Chiefs the entire night, and that seeing that last second touchdown was cherry on top for the night. But now we look toward the next season, man, and I'm looking forward to it. The season's finally done. We can stop hearing about this. Oh, they lost 0-7 their last 7 games of the season, or 1-6 or whatever it was. I just now it's done, and now we just get to look forward to the preseason. 264 days of no football.
But tons of baseball.
Tons of
baseball. Losing money on football because I lost a fair amount this season. I don't know if Decker did too. Decker's not here tonight. He's a little bit busy. Shout out to you guys listening who have recognized that our boy Decker's not here. He'll be back next week with the parlays. But at least I can stop losing money on football because, I mean, this season as a whole was unpredictable as fuck. But I'm with Matt. That, last touchdown was the chair. I hit my bets, Jack. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I lost a lot of money betting in the NFL, and also I'm losing a lot of money betting NBA. So I think I'm just done.
No, you're not. You say that every week, man. You'll be back.
So Jack, you're gonna start doing what I do then, right?
What's
we're
that?
gonna invest our money into smart investments. We're gonna build ourselves a portfolio. We're gonna have some ETFs. We're gonna
No. I mean,
all right.
I wasn't putting money into my account. I was the winnings I had. So I wasn't really
fair
putting.
enough.
Sure.
That's
It
what they
was.
all say.
I promise you.
Are you
don't know.
filing your 1099? I forget the exact letter that goes after for all your gambling winnings. I think it's 1099-G for gambling.
Yeah, but it's only if you have over 5,000 in winnings.
Oh, see, he's done his homework. Well done, Mike.
Which I don't have, so I don't have to do that. But yeah.
But you can't offset your losses unless you have some winnings.
That's true. And now it's baseball season.
That's the advice of the night. Win $4,999.99. Brought to you by 302
Yeah, withdraw.
birds.
Invest it.
Yeah.
Invest it. Invest it.
And then invest it. Yeah, good advice from
Yes.
Ballpark Tommy. Tommy's only giving the investing advice, telling you to invest it.
No,
That's
I'm
it.
not giving any investing advice.
Sorry, I'm only giving the not investing. I'm not giving investing advice. We're just saying it's a good thing to do to invest your money. There you go. See how I did that, Tom?
We're not gonna do it. This is not financial.
Saddle on up for Hoss's Hot Takes, brought to you by Sharps, where you can see and tell your friends' hottest bets.
Thank you to Sharps for sponsoring our beautiful little segment here, Hoss's Hot Takes. Sharps is an app where you can track and tail your friends' latest bets. Use code 302D866 as the promo code when you download that amazing app. My hot take for this week, guys, is the most loved team in the city today is the Philadelphia Phillies, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about that.
Look at his face.
Okay.
Get away, dude. You can't hide it with that face.
Me
and him are on the same wavelength. I can feel it.
I mean, I think it's by season. So like, yeah, it's baseball season now. So yeah, they're the love team in Philadelphia. But if you really kind of like see the Phillies fans versus Eagles fans, I think there's more Eagles fans than there are Phillies fans. I could be wrong, but me personally, the Eagles are my team. The Eagles are my team. Like, what, Tom? What?
So his take was that they're the most loved
Today?
team right now. Yes, they're the most loved team, and I think here's why. Hey, they're the most loved team in the city because one, the Eagles fell flat on their face and choked, absolutely choked. The Phillies, didn't choke. Craig Kimbrell choked. So it's only one guy, and they got rid of him. They did what everybody wanted them to do. So they did. So people are in love with them. The Eagles and Eagles fans right now, I feel like, in a way, just like in general, especially when you listen to like sports radio and like any other Eagles podcast right now, with people calling in, people like are like in a strained. It's like a marriage that's on its last legs with the Eagles. Like they want to plead, they still want to love the team, but they're all acting like this is something that's really not that's really like terrible for them, and that they need to just divorce it and move on. That's almost like kind of what they sound like calling in right now. Whereas with the Phillies, they're like, it's a breath of fresh air. The grass is green. in spring has sprung. The peanuts are roasting. And children are laughing. The birds are singing. Love is in the air, Jackson. Love, love, love.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to piggy off Tommy right there. I mean, the Birds, they had that terrible ending to the season. At least with the Phillies last year, they were able to make it back to the NLC championship or the NL championship. Our Sixers are a complete dumpster fire right now. I mean, I think we love our Sixers because they're not out of the playoffs yet, but it's hard to really buy into them right now with them beat on the sideline. And then the Flyers, like I feel like we all still have this false sense of hope. Like, they're playing really well, but like I really do think that we're just like kind of like we're high on love right now, and like it's gonna diminish very quickly.
I feel that same exact way. Like I feel like the Flyers could fall off a cliff at any moment, but I'll ride it as long as it will take me because you know what? I absolutely love this Flyers team. The amount of hits that is something I've noticed this season that they have been missing for maybe like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 years now. They are hitting a lot better, the Flyers. Like the forechecking, the slamming into the boards, the just like FU attitude. Like I love it.
I feel like all of the Philadelphia fan base or team should play that way because, as we know, the Flyers weren't expected to do much this year. They're playing pretty well. So if we have that mindset going into the baseball season, the football season, things are going to change. I think it's going to be a good thing. But I digress. I mean, yes, as of today, since it's pitchers and catchers today, it's definitely the Phillies. Is the team that's in love, especially Valentine's Day. Okay, so yes, you're right, Haas. If you want me to tell you that, you're right. You're
Hot take, correct, baby. Hot
You're
take,
right.
correct.
I just want to say,
we gotta get mad at
I
Metal.
think the one thing I will say, because Jack took most of the words out of my mouth, it's very hard for a Phillies tailgate, even at its peak, to beat an Eagles tailgate. That's the one thing I will say. It's cold. You do have that. I'm freezing my fucking ass off, but there's alcohol either way, so I'm not feeling it either way. That's my opinion. I can see the most loved team, though, based on success. I like Tom's point on that. The Phillies haven't broken my heart as much. Like, at least they made it to the championship, and Craig Kimbrell fell apart. The Eagles just fucking fell flat on their face. Flat out. There's no other way to put it. So I think that this is a fair hot take, a correct hot take, as we say. So he's what? Is he 1 for 2 or 2 for 2 then? What would we say? What was the hot take last week?
That
Brazil
was
is a good thing?
International football, yeah.
Okay, I would say no on that one because I missed my home tailgate, but I will say yes on this one.
We're 1-1.
But that's up to you guys to vote too, so you guys can say if you guys want the home game or not, or if you guys think the international games are good too. It's up to you.
All I gotta say, if it wasn't pitchers catcher day today, this wouldn't be a thing. Boom.
You're wrong. That's
right.
Yesterday, Jack would basically be laying into you, Matt, but only because it's pitchers and catchers day and Valentine's Day. He's in a good mood.
Jack, if
He's
you
in a good mood.
I'll play devil's advocate real quick on Jack's point. If we were saying this back in November, Jack would be right. But it's no longer November. The Eagles
If it was November 1st.
If it was November 1st, Jack would be right.
No, what if the Phillies are in the World Series in November 1st?
Then it's the Phillies.
Oh, he admitted it!
I had a slip.
We got him, Jack!
Let's be honest. If any Philly sports team is in a championship, they are the peak of love from this city. It doesn't matter. Eagles take a backseat to whatever teams in their respective championship.
Let's go back to the roots of this podcast. Let's go back to the roots of this podcast and talk about the Eagles, okay? Because we got to get going.
It's Valentine's Day, baby.
Jack's looking to get lucky.
Reliable running backs? I want to get lucky with Derrick Henry. Do you, Jack?
What the nice thing about him is he already made his money. He already made his money in Tennessee. And he's not going to be that much money for us to pay him. Okay? I'm not sure what's going to happen with Swift. I think Henry already agreed like he would take a pay cut if he were to go anywhere else. I'm not sure what's happening with Swift. Kenny Gainwell, I don't know. I mean, we ran him a lot. We ran him a lot last year. We didn't really utilize Swift that much. But I think RB1, is Swift still here? I want to see Swift because he's still young. Derrick Henry's a dog, but he's old. And, as we all talked about, Zeke Elliott, he was good. Now he's old, and he's not really doing much at the Patriots. So I would want to see Swift back in Philly again and then see what happens with Henry.
Did you just compare Derrick Henry to Ezekiel Elliott?
They're the same kind of.
I don't know. That's Jack. That's your own hot take right there.
No, but it's a different.
No, because
same category though. Yeah, same
They're
category.
both power backs. They're both power backs.
Yeah, but one's a fucking beast.
I feel like we do have the bias though to hate the Cowboys. Like, just because it's Zeke, we're like not going to give him his credit for being as powerful as he is just because he's a Cowboy. So like Zeke could be like decked out and you'd be like, oh, look at how cute you are, Zeke.
No, he never put up numbers Derrick Henry did. Derrick Henry is on a different tier of goodness in the running back room than Ezekiel Elliott ever was. Ezekiel Elliott had
like a category of his own, though. Like, for the most part, Derrick Henry's known as a power bully back. I see what you're saying. But
he's also fast as all hell.
But he's just in a fucking category of his own, too. Like, he's an NFL legend.
Yeah, truthfully. And Ezekiel Elliott had 3 good seasons.
Yeah,
when Derrick
and a
Henry has
crop
had
top
10
and a crop top.
and a crop top, where Derrick Henry has had near what is it, almost 10 seasons now of putting up disgusting numbers at running back. I just don't think you can compare the two.
The
Me
one thing I
personally.
will say, it hasn't been 10 seasons because me and my buddy Dan used to get into pissing matches about Derrick Henry in college. You can ask Tom. I called that Derrick Henry was going to be a good player because of my Madden expertise. That's what I attribute 90% of my football knowledge to on this podcast. No, I'm just kidding, obviously. But in all seriousness, when I was coming up learning about this guy, I was like, okay, he's pretty good. I just remember when he first came in the league, he actually had to sit behind Dion Lewis for a little bit. And then I remember he was splitting carries with DeMarco Murray. So I want to say he really got into it maybe 2017, 2018, even though he was drafted maybe 10 years ago. Yeah. But they kept him like
8 seasons. 8 seasons.
Yeah, 8 seasons. So I want to say, and then 2 seasons, he was like kind of trapped up. So 6 years. I mean, this guy has been doing it though for 6 years, like at an insane level. So I love Matt's point about like bringing in a legend. I mean, I think experience, but you got to get him for the right price. You got to get him for a pay cut. It's all got to be a smart business decision. I kind of agree with what Tom said about the Gainwell thing. Gainwell's going to be here next year, but it doesn't hurt to bring in Henry with his, his affinity, I'll say, with AJ Brown.
It'll be interesting to see what Kellen Moore wants. I mean, because if he really values the running back position, I don't see there's a reason why we can't keep Swift and Henry. That 1-2 punch would be toxic.
Oh my God.
That would be amazing. Run Swift downs 1 and 2 and then Henry 3 and 4 if we need him. I mean, we don't even need Gainwell.
Like what we had with Ajayi and what's his name?
Blunt.
Yeah. Blunt force trauma.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. I think that would be the ideal outcome of this, but I don't think the Eagles value the running back enough to be able to pay both of them.
Correct.
Before we get into our next topic, too, I do want to kick it to Jack and our trivia segment so we can hit that before our last topic of the night. Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dalton, the mayor of Delaware.
Thank you to TickPick for that sponsorship. Like we said earlier, Phillies are coming up. Use TickPick and discount on your tickets. Without further ado, the question we have for you tonight is, what place did the Eagles finish in the NFC East in the 2013 season? A, first, B, third, C, second, D, fourth. What place did the Eagles finish in the NFC East for the 2013 season? First, third, second, or fourth? I'll give you the answer in the show.
Why wouldn't you just put it in order? First, second, third, fourth.
Because I want to be different, okay? I want to be different.
I hope I texted him the right answer, not like A, a B, a C, or a D, because I know what the answer is. And I swear to God, if my stupidity fucks me up again this week, I'm going to hate myself. Does anybody know the score off the top of their head? Who got a point last week and who didn't?
I got a point.
I know I didn't because I wasn't on the show.
I didn't get a point. I know that.
Yeah, I think Ashley got a point.
Did Decker get a point? I'll text him. I'll figure it out and I'll get a score.
We'll figure it out.
But anyways, moving along to our last segment, Hassan Reddick potentially on the move. How are we feeling about this, gentleman?
Howie's a snake. I want him gone.
I don't
fire Howie.
I don't really think it would be the smartest decision for the Eagles to make. This guy, even though last year wasn't the greatest season for him, he had the most sacks.
It was a monster season for him.
Yeah, but I'm saying it wasn't as good as 2 seasons ago.
Agreed.
But yeah, I mean, I think he also came out saying that he never wanted to leave Philly. He would be willing to take a pay cut as well to stay in Philly because it's his home roots. So I think we would be stupid to get rid of him. I think it would be dumb. I think if Howie does that, it would be just stupid. He is a monster. He has had a good two last seasons here with us. So why would we get rid of him?
Stupid.
And with Vic Fangio's defense, it'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, I think, another season with Nolan Smith being able to be under his wing and continue to develop, I think that can only help us. But Reddick, like you said, Jack, I mean, he came out and said, I never once said I wanted to have a trade request. He's like, I don't know where that's coming from. And that's a whole nother topic. I mean, Philadelphia media, they're snakes, man. And I think if this was true, I think that he's doing it to his advantage to check out what the market's going to be and come back to Philadelphia and be like, pay me this or I'm walking. I don't think he wants to leave Philadelphia, but I think, maybe from a business standpoint, I think it would be smart for him. And, if we do trade him, we save $13 million in cap space next season. And that's going to put us up close to $40 million in cap that we can spend on free agents and people along those lines. So I think it's positive on both sides. If he stays, yes, of course, our defensive line is going to be amazing. But if he leaves, we're going to have the money to go out and continue to sign blockbuster free agents.
And to my guy E-Rock's point, shout out to our boy E-Rock. We are going to talk about having that celebrity guest bartender event hopefully soon coming up for you guys. So stay tuned for that. But Eric Emanuel, our guy E-Rock, said it's worth noting that Vic Fangio typically runs a 3-4 defense, and where Hassan Reddick thrives is in a traditional 4-3. Makes me a little bit nervous with some other players on our team, some older guys, to see what they do, because I know that this team is traditionally used to a 4-3 defense. That's what we're used to as fans. But it's the new scheme, it's the new regime, so it's time to adjust. I'm not saying that Hassan Reddick can't. I would be all in favor of keeping him, because personally, when Brandon Graham goes, when Fletcher Cox goes, all these guys go, he's going to be the next piece, the next investment for years to come. That guy that can play to hopefully 35 in his hometown, and we were talking earlier in the show about how awesome that is for Kyle Lowry to come back to Philadelphia and play in his hometown. And same thing when Hassan Reddick, the Temple graduate, came back. Everybody was all for it. I just want to fucking know, when the hell is a St. Joe's graduate going to start coming to Philadelphia and making me proud? We'll have to get one of them. I know wasn't Charlie Brown on the team a couple years ago, Tom, or was he in the NBA? I know that
he became a late season bench guy for the Sixers, but that's about it. You're forgetting one guy whose number's retired at St. Joe's now, who won a World Series. Jamie Moyer.
I'm not a huge baseball guy, so there you go, but I'll have to write that
Jamie
one down.
Moyer was a St. Joe's grad. Number 10 is retired at St. Joe's, because that was his number when he was there. The dude is a SJU Hawk legend and born and raised in the Philly area. Got to win a World Series with the Phillies. Is the oldest player in World Series history to win a game.
Wow, how old was he?
It was like 49 and a half.
Damn.
49. Dude, that's so crazy.
You sure you're not coaching the team, bro? No, I'm just kidding. That's insane.
I actually think I'm very wrong on that stat, but we'll see.
So you're just throwing stuff to the wall, see if it sticks, and see like, yeah, we're dumb enough to believe Tom, because Tom.
I fucking am. You guys know me. I just fucking go along with everything you guys say. You guys can just shout out bullshit on here, and whatever. kidding for our listeners. But wrapping it up. Like I said, I want to thank you guys for listening on Valentine's Day, and we will hit it home with Jackson's Trivia.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dordan, the mayor of Delaware.
Thanks again to TickPick for that sponsorship. If you want to go to the Phillies game, buy your ticket with TickPick. Again, the question we have for tonight is, what place did the Eagles finish in the NFC East for the 2013 season? A, first, B, third, C, second, D, fourth. Tonight's answer is seventh. I'm kidding. It's first. So Tommy got it correct. Matt got it correct. Ash got it correct. And Dawn got it correct.
Woo! I'm on the fucking board, baby. Sorry, I had to let that one out.
Dawn, what letter did you put? If you didn't put C, it's wrong.
Z, bitch. I put Z.
Well, then you're wrong. It was C.
I'm dyslexic. You can't blame it on me. So I sent
Yes,
Jack.
I can.
I sent Jack the word first. See what I did there? I didn't even put any letters because as soon as he started saying A is first, B is third, I went, fuck that. That is too many letters and numbers in chronological order. Fucked up for me. I'm gonna fuck it up even more.
Honestly,
Like a Rubik's cube. I don't know how to solve it.
Honestly, fuck the Eagles for coming in first that season. Because, like,
Why?
if they didn't come in first, then Chip Kelly wouldn't have taken over power, and we wouldn't have lost to Deshaun Jackson, LaShawn McCoy, Michael Vick. We would have had the whole crew
in
there.
all fairness, we were one catch away with. Was that Nick Foles and Alshon? No,
No, that was with
later in the year.
Doug.
That was
no,
Nick
with-
Foles' first time around, right? When we got demolished by the Saints in the playoffs, or not demolished, we lost. Like, was it a close game? That was
Chip
Kelly.
That was Chip Kelly's first season.
Yeah, was that the game? I just remember the season, and I think that this was that season when LaShawn McCoy won the rushing title, and he had the WWE heavyweight belt after. I will forever have that picture in my head when he won the NFL rushing title and had the belt on his shoulder.
Yeah, but like, fuck Chip Kelly.
Fuck.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, he wasn't the greatest coach, but like,
No, I would say fuck Chip Kelly.
the offensive offense was in the greatest shape of all time because he ran that hurry-up offense.
I will
Yeah,
say that the
fuck Chip
Super
Kelly.
Bowl, Jason Kelce, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, all those guys were fucking conditioned because of Chip Kelly. So I will give Jack credit. Like, I don't know that the Super Bowl team would have had that conditioning, some of those guys that they did, if it wasn't for just getting out of the chair. Like, it's almost perfect the way it worked out with fucking Ice Cream Man and Conditioning Man. Two different schemes. One worked, but like the guys had already been through it, so they knew how to hold themselves accountable to an extent, I feel like.
Nah, fuck Chip Kelly.
I'm with Matt. That's another right Haas's hot take right there.
Yeah, that'll be next week. Stay tuned.
I'm gonna say I don't agree
now.
with any of Haas's hot takes from now on because I don't want Matt to get that fucking credit. Okay, fuck you, Matt. Fuck you.
Matt, I want you to get all the credit simply because you know what? Fuck you, John. Fuck you, Jack. Whatever your name
Here we
is
go, the
this week.
fucking devil and angel.
Actually, you know what? Fuck you, Dolt.
What the fuck did I do?
You got your tips
Actually, you know what?
frosted.
Actually, fuck you, Tommy. We're all
All right, you know what? Fuck you, Jack. Can you fucking wrap up this fucking show and hit this fucking outro?
That's a lot of F words. I don't appreciate it.
We're gonna get an explicit rating. On
Anyway,
this show.
No, we already rated explicit. We're good. We've
Thank
done that
you
from the start,
for
sweetheart.
listening to this podcast tonight. Hey Josh, it's an outro, not an intro. Hit that motherfucking outro.
Fuck Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly can suck my dick.
You guys owe me credit for conditioning your O-line.